ML Sports Take back with you. What's up, Bonnet family? It's all brought to you by our good friends at Stumbling Monkey Brewing Company and Camillus Golf Club. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel. Trying to get 100 new subscribers per month. Things are rolling along. This past week, I had Kurt Fitzpatrick on from Cortland football about his national championship. We had Ryan Leaf on to preview the title games on Sunday. And, of course, had Adrian Autry, head men's basketball coach of Syracuse. So make sure you go download, subscribe to the show on Apple, Google, Spotify, and, of course, subscribe here to the YouTube page and elsewhere at ML Sports Platter. The Bonnies, they roll over St. Joe's 45-41. They were up at halftime. The final was 91-72. The Bonnies 46-31. They outscored the Hawks in the second half. Just a couple takeaways here. If you look at the individual and team stat sheet, it's pretty equal. You know, a couple more three-pointers were made by St. Bonaventure, 12 versus 10. The Bonnies made 7 free throws versus 2 of St. Joe's. You know, the Bonnies got out-rebounded by 4. They had 7 more assists. Here's where the big difference was for St. Bonaventure. In this basketball game, the Bonnies forced a lot of turnovers. In fact, 15 in all compared to just 6 for St. Bonnie. And when they force those turnovers by St. Joe's, right, you get the steals from the turnovers equaling extra possessions, equaling points, equaling a 19-point win. That's really what it boils down to. Because Joe's turned it over and Bonaventure stole the ball and, you know, they forced a lot of those, it created the extra possessions, which then created points, which then created the 19-point win. And in that 19-point win, we know, I'm going to say it again, and I said it a month and a half ago, we know that Daryl Banks III has this in him. I'm not saying he has to score 20 in on every game. I need to see some sustainability. Score, 10, 12 to like 16, 18 every single game. He either gives you 2 and nothing, and then you gotta bench him, or he explodes like this. We know what he can do. We know, we've seen it in the NCAA tournament. We saw him at St. Peter's. We know that he has the ability at the RC or in St. Peter's gym or on the moon. This guy, going back to 1920, he has the ability to do this. This is his 5th year playing college basketball. He's averaged, last year was 15.4, 11.3 before that, 11 points before that. This year he's only averaging 8.6 a game. He has taken a major dip down in his overall average scoring. We know he has it in him. We know he can explode for these kind of games. And I'll say it again. When he explodes and when he does things, Bonaventure's offense is all kinds of different. Movement, pace, rhythm, timing, shooting and making threes. And all of a sudden you got to worry about Banks from the outside. He can blow by and then he can kick and other people are open. If Banks is rolling and then the wingers are rolling, that makes Venning's game better. Folks, this is a layered operation, this basketball thing, right? And that's what happened. 29 from Banks equals 23 from Flowers into the starting role. Adams Woods was on the bench. He gave him 7. And then you get the 21 from Venning. He was inside, outside. He made some tough shots last night, by the way. Wow. And I think he's still probably the MVP of this team. Close second would be Flowers. But again, it's either 2 or 4 or 6 points, or it's 23 to 29 to 33 points from Banks, right? It's either the explosion, yes, or, oh my God, what happened to him? No. I got to get somewhere in the middle and him to stay there more consistently. You're going to have bad games. You're going to have great games. You're going to explode sometimes. You're going to have a bit. That's fine. That's basketball. That's sports. That's the competition on the other side. But in more cases, if Daryl Banks can just give you his average in points somewhere between 12 and 16 every game, rock solid defense, maybe a couple of threes to open things up, boom, this offense changes a great deal. Now, you're not going to, again, score 29 points. He went 7 of 11 from 3. He also went perfect from the free throw line, 4 for 4. But this Bonaventure team, they got steals off the turnovers, right? They kind of go hand in hand, right? They were stealing the ball away, which means it's a turnover. And the assists were 23 to 16. So you use the steal/turnover thing to create more possession, more points. You win by 19 points. Adams Woods, I don't know what's going on there across the board. Bonaventure, last night they got 42 bench points out of the 91, which is ridiculous. Nothing from Charles Pride in 12 minutes. Just wasn't one of his nights, and kind of the rhythm of the offense didn't look great with him in there. Senvis, 3 points. Again, those things are going to happen. You only got 2 from Luke, who started and played 17. But again, that's where it's like, okay, now imagine for a second that Luke isn't starting and, you know, Banks is. So you almost think of a starter that way. At this particular point, I'm not getting emotionally invested this way or this way with this team. I'm just not. I'm not going to go into the whole, you know, saving the season stuff. I'm not going to go into saving the season from 500 stuff. I'm not going to go into any of that stuff. I'm not going to go into anything at this point. They have VCU. They have Dayton this week. You know, we've seen the best this team can be. We've seen the worst this team can be. I'm thinking along the lines of this. Doesn't matter about, I mean, you got to get really hot to get the double bye. But Bonaventure, to me, like the last week of February, is when I want this team to get really hot. Find some kind of rhythm in terms of starting rotation and your bench. Find that collective deal, right? Find that rhythm. Find how, you know, what guys can play together, when they can play together. You hope everybody's healthy at that particular point. Maybe you run a little bit more of the two-man big thing, you know, with Brown and Venning. I don't know. And you hope to kind of be on all cylinders. Because what I know is this team is capable of scoring 91 and winning like they did last night. This team is capable of hanging with the Florida Atlantic and then playing a couple of bad minutes and then you lose. They're capable of losing on their home floor to Canisius. They're capable of winning on the road and then laying an egg on the road. They're capable of allowing Fordham to come in and just look like, you know, the next coming of, you know, the greatest offense of all time. So they're capable of all these different things, which means what? It's a roller coaster. It's a wildly inconsistent Bona group and a team that had brought back all these guys together, which I didn't see coming. I didn't think that I know there's bad games. I know you're going to lose road games. That happens to teams that win national championships. That's never going to change. But I didn't see this much of right here in the A10. And I didn't see him losing to Canisius. I didn't see a lot of the waves, the up and down, the roller coaster that takes us so far up and so far down. I didn't see it with this group because you bring in some veteran players in Adams, Woods, and Pride. And you've got guys who came back to the program. You have leadership. You have role players. I didn't see it. I didn't see it, you know, this wildly inconsistent. But that's where we are. And a 19-point win on a Friday night, pretty much standalone game on ESPN2. It's nice. The crowd was crazy. The students were great. That's nice. It's a nice win. It's great. They're 12-7. They're 3-4, still under 500 in the A10 with a huge game Tuesday against VCU. Then they have to go at Dayton. And then they have a couple home, a road, a home, a couple road, a home, a road, and a home. I mean, they're going to lose another road game at least. Probably multiple. I wouldn't be surprised to see somebody come in there like a Loyola Chicago and do what Fordham did. I'm not going to be surprised by anything at this point. I have no idea what to expect except the unexpected. That's the bottom line. I'm expecting the unexpected. I'm expecting the ups and downs to continue. And all I'm looking at is that last week of February in that world where you got, you know, a chunk of games in a row. I would probably say 21st, 24th, 27th of February into the last two games at GW and St. Louis at home, where in that last 5-game stretch, you find something. You find cohesion. You find rhythm and timing on both ends of the floor. You find the lockdown defense and making clutch free throws in the end again. You find some rhythm with all your players. You know the right rotation if you're a Mark Schmidt and your assistant coaches. Something clicks. You go into the A10 tournament and you make a run. Because that's really all that's left of this season for me. I'm going to root for the Bonnies. I hope they win every game. I watched last night. I was hoping they were going to win the game. But I'm not getting crazy up and I'm not getting crazy down because I've seen it all at this point. This is who they are. Because of the inconsistencies, because of the highs and the lows, this team is 12-7 and 3-4 in the A10. That's all there is to it. They've lost at home to Canisius. They got blown out. You know, in some spots. They had Florida Atlantic on the ropes and couldn't get it done. You know, they lost at Richmond when they had extra time in Virginia. They lost back-to-back ugly against Mason and Duquesne. And then they have the ability to score 91 points against St. Joe's and win at home and score 89 points and win at VCU. So figure it out. If you can figure it out, you're going to be on an island quick with a Corona and a lot of money. Because, you know, this is who they are. And it will not change the rest of the year. You know, and they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's see, hang on. 1, 2, 3. I think it's 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 games to go. I mean, can they win 10 of 11? I don't see it. If they do, I'd love to be proved wrong. I want to eat crow right in front of you. I see somewhere around 500, a couple games over 500. But I don't care what the record is. If that last stretch of games, that last 4 or 5 games, they start to feel something and get something together, and you roll the ball out, and they're as dangerous as anybody in that A-10 tournament to go win the thing. Because for me, that's all that's left of the season. Again, Hart, Bonnie's, nothing's changed here, but I'm not going way up, I'm not going way down. I'm just not. When March hits, we can talk. And I want to see where they're at going into those last couple of games to see if they've found something that will allow them to get hot, to make a run and stay more consistent instead of this all the time. But it was exciting last night. RC, the threes were dropping, the runs were coming. The second half, they just ran away from them. And we'll see what happens on Tuesday night. Back in the same building at 7 o'clock on the CBS Sports Network against visiting VCU. Mike Lindsley with you here. It's an ML Sports Take brought to you by Stumbling Monkey Brewing Company and Camillus Golf Club. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel. And as I always tell you, enjoy the games.